Listen, every woman has at least one weakness. But the shocking part? Most men walk right past these weaknesses like they're blindfolded in a dark room holding a flashlight that's not even on. And that's why good men lose chances, not because they're boring, not because they're not attractive, but because they never notice the small signals women hide. Today, I'm exposing 10 female weaknesses that women hope men never figure out, because once you know them, you stop chasing, and she starts trying. Before we go deeper, hit like so YouTube knows you're not one of those guys who watch advice, but never improve. Drop a comment and tell me one thing you want to fix about yourself. I reply to the real ones. And subscribe, because this channel makes you the man women respect, not the man they forget in 2 days. Now, let's begin. Why women hide these weaknesses. Here's the truth. Women are emotional, complex, layered beings. But they are not impossible to understand. Women hide their weak spots because revealing them feels risky. It's like handing someone your phone unlocked. You better trust them, or you're about to panic. So instead of saying, "Hey, I like you," or "You make me nervous," a woman will avoid eye contact, pretend she's not interested, act busy when she's literally doing nothing, laugh at your lame joke like you're Chris Rock, or text haha 27 times when nothing was actually funny. Women hide weakness, not because they're manipulative, but because they're scared of getting hurt first. And trust me, if you've ever thought a woman was cold or distant, there's a high chance she was actually interested, but terrified of being exposed. Today, I'll break down the first 3 shocking weaknesses women have, the ones men almost never notice. If you've ever been confused by a woman, this will clear half of your stress. Let's unlock the psychology. Weakness 1, women melt when a man shows silent confidence. Women can ignore your looks. They can ignore your height. They can ignore your muscles. Unless you look like a Marvel character, then maybe not. But the one thing they cannot ignore? A man who is calm, quiet, and sure of himself. Not loud, not bragging, not acting like the main character in a low-budget action movie. Just composed. Women go crazy for a man who speaks slowly, moves with intention, listens more than he talks, doesn't overshare to impress, stays calm even when she tries to test him. Silent confidence is a woman's kryptonite because it feels masculine. It feels rare. It makes her feel safe. And the fun part? Women will tell their friends, "Igwai, but he's just different." No, he's not different. He's just not shouting his existence like every other guy. Weakness 2. She can't resist a man who is hard to read. Here's something wild. Women want a man who is emotionally available, but not emotionally predictable. If she can guess every move you'll make, she loses interest. But if she can't quite figure you out, you activate the part of her brain that loves mystery. Women are naturally curious. If she can't read you completely, she starts thinking, "Why isn't he nervous around me? Why isn't he trying so hard? Does he like me or not? Why is he so calm? Why am I thinking about him this much?" The moment you become slightly unpredictable, not in a toxic way, but in a confident, composed way, her interest spikes. Not texting instantly, not sharing everything, not exposing your whole life story in the first week. These things pull her in. Because a man who is hard to read equals a man who has emotional control. And women will say, "He's mysterious," while you're literally just drinking water and minding your business. Weakness 3. She falls fast for subtle masculine behavior. Women pay attention to details that men don't even know exist. You fixing your sleeves? Attractive. Your deep breath before you talk? Attractive. Placing your hand on her lower back when guiding her through a crowd? Extremely attractive. You adjusting your watch? Congrats, she's already imagining things. Women love micromasculinity. The way you stand, the way you look at her, the way you walk, the way you talk in a calm tone, the way you lead without forcing to you. It's normal. To her, it's magnetic. She won't tell you these things because it exposes her weakness. But trust me, she notices everything, even the things you don't. This is why some women develop feelings faster for a man who barely says much, because his presence speaks louder than his words. We covered the first 3 weaknesses: silent confidence, mystery, and micromasculinity. Now we go deeper into the weaknesses women hide the most. These next ones? Most men never see them. Even clever, mature men miss them because women disguise them as normal behavior. But once you understand them, everything she does will suddenly make sense. Let's jump in. Weakness 4. She can't handle a man who shows selective attention. Here's a secret women will never admit. Women love when you pay attention, but they go crazy when you don't pay attention to everything. If you constantly shower her with attention, texts every hour, compliments every minute, approval on every selfie, she'll think you're too available. But if you give attention in a strategic, calm, masculine way, she melts. This is selective attention. You notice the small things that matter, but you don't jump on everything she does. Examples: she changes her hairstyle, you notice. She posts a 3-story photo dump, you don't comment. She looks beautiful today, you say it calmly. She tries too hard to get a reaction, you stay cool. She sends a long text, you reply with confidence, not desperation. Selective attention equals I see you, but I'm not obsessed. Women are shockingly weak to this. Why? Because you're giving value without giving validation addiction. You're showing interest, but you're also showing standards. She feels special, but she also feels challenged. And trust me, women love a challenge. They will deny it publicly, but privately, they get butterflies from it. Selective attention is your silent superpower. Weakness 5. She falls for a man with emotional discipline. Every woman wants a man who feels emotions, but she's weak for a man who controls them. Not cold, not robotic, not ignoring feelings, but disciplined. Here's the truth. When a man loses emotional control, a woman loses attraction. When a man stays centered, a woman feels safe. When you stay calm during arguments, misunderstandings, emotional pressure, her mood swings, external chaos, or when she tests you, you appear stronger than 90% of men she knows. Emotional discipline is rare in men today because social media pushes drama. Men think reacting equals showing love. Nobody teaches calm masculine presence. Many guys confuse attention with attachment. A woman's weakness is a man who can feel but not drown, who can care but not collapse, who can listen but not lose himself. Imagine she's frustrated, and instead of arguing, you say, I hear you. Let's talk when we're both calm. Boom. Her brain just whispered, this is a man. Or if she tries to push your buttons and you don't explode, her attraction jumps instantly. Women don't want a man who controls her. They want a man who controls himself. That's masculine stability. And that stability is a weakness for her heart. Weakness 6. She's drawn to a man who can walk away. This one is powerful and dangerous. And it only works when you genuinely mean it. The biggest weakness in women? A man who is not afraid to leave. Not because he's toxic. Not because he's playing games. But because he respects himself. When you're okay with walking away, you show self-respect, standards, boundaries, discipline, a sense of identity. Emotional independence women are used to men chasing, begging, negotiating, compromising everything just to keep her. So when you show her this energy, if this doesn't bring me peace, I'm out. She feels something she didn't expect. Respect, attraction, curiosity, fear of losing you, desire to try harder. Most men cling to women like they'll never find someone again. But a high-value man knows this. Walking away is not losing her, it's choosing yourself. Women are weak for this because it separates boys from men. And the funny part? When you finally stop chasing, she starts chasing. You go from, do you still like me? To, hey, where are you? Why aren't you texting? And if you've ever seen a woman suddenly try harder after you stopped trying, this is why. Walking away is not a threat. It's power. If you're listening to this thinking, bro, why did no one teach me this stuff? Relax. 99% of men grow up blind to female psychology. We learn algebra, photosynthesis, and the Pythagorean theorem, but nobody taught us how to understand women. And honestly, understanding women feels harder than all three combined. But you're leveling up. Most men think attraction is luck. You're learning it's a strategy. Most men think women just don't like them. You're learning women have patterns they can't hide. This is why you're here. And trust me, Next weaknesses go even more deeper. If you thought these weaknesses were shocking, we've already uncovered 6 weaknesses, the ones women hide behind attitude, silence, and I'm fine lies. But these next ones? These are the deep psychological weaknesses women never admit publicly. We're cracking open the layers now. Let's keep going. Weakness 7. She can't resist a man with purpose. There's something about a man on a mission that hits a woman right in her soul. A man who has goals, direction, ambition, passion. Something he's building. This is one of the strongest female weaknesses. Why? Because a man with purpose is hard to distract. Women know deep down, if he's focused on his mission, I have to earn a place in his life. And that challenge, that mystery, that feeling of I want him, but he's busy becoming better, it pulls her in stronger than any pickup line. A man who is passionate about his life becomes attractive without even trying. You're in the gym? Attractive. You're improving your money? Attractive. You're building skills? Attractive. You're focused on your future? Dangerously attractive. Women are weak for men with purpose because such men are rare. Most guys get distracted easily, are bored, complain, waste time, stop trying, chase women instead of goals. But you're watching a psychology video to understand women and yourself. That's already rare. And when you keep improving, she won't just want you. She'll want to be part of your story. Weakness 8. She's weak for a man who makes her feel seen, not complimented, not flattered, not praised every minute. Seen. There's a difference. A lot of men give generic compliments. You look nice. You're beautiful. You're hot. These are fine, but they don't hit deep. Women are weak for men who notice her effort, her mood, her small habits, her personality, her growth, her emotional world. When you say something specific like, I noticed you calm everyone down when things get stressful, or you take care of people even when no one appreciates it, or you're a lot stronger than you act. That hits her heart differently. Because women want someone who sees who she is, not just how she looks. Women will pretend they don't care. But when a man sees her inner world, her guard drops. Women are emotional creatures. If you understand her emotionally, you unlock a layer 90% of men never touch. And here's the funny part. Sometimes you compliment her personality, and suddenly she's staring at you like you just discovered fire. That's her weakness kicking in. Weakness 9. She falls hard for a man with boundaries. Some men think boundaries make them look strict or rude. No, boundaries make you look competent, attractive, masculine. Most women don't respect a man without boundaries. Not because they're evil, but because a man without boundaries is unpredictable, emotional, and unstable. A man with boundaries shows self-respect, emotional order, standards, maturity, self-control, examples that make women melt. Even if she won't admit it, I don't argue when I'm angry. We'll talk later. I don't chase people who are unsure about me. I'm not okay with disrespect. If you're upset, tell me directly, not indirectly. I don't cancel my plans last minute without a strong reason. Notice something? None of these are aggressive. None are rude. None are controlling. They're clear. They're calm. They're masculine. Women are weak for men who know their limits, protect their energy, say no when needed. Don't allow chaos in their lives. Why? Because boundaries equals stability. Stability equals leadership. Leadership equals attraction. A man with boundaries gives her 2 things she craves: emotional safety, predictability, and secretly, she loves when a man calmly says no. It tells her, this man is not afraid to lose me. And that is a weakness in every woman alive. Now we made it to the final weakness, the one women hide the most. This one is so powerful that once you understand it, you'll stop chasing women completely, because you'll finally get why chasing never works. Let's understand this. Weakness 10. She can't resist a man who brings emotional calm. And no, this doesn't mean you need to act like a monk sitting under a waterfall. It means something much simpler. Women are weak for men who make their life feel peaceful, not stressful. Here's the truth. Women live in emotional overload. Every day they deal with overthinking, mood shifts, social pressure, fear of judgment, insecurities, comparing themselves, trying to look perfect, trying to act perfect, and pretending everything is fine. Even when it's not so, when a woman meets a man who brings calm instead of chaos, that is her biggest weakness. Examples of emotional calm. You don't argue unnecessarily. You speak in a steady tone. You don't guilt trip her. You don't panic when small problems show up. You don't make drama out of nothing. You reassure without begging. You lead without controlling. You're grounded even when she's emotional. This feels like safety to her. Like stability. Like she can soften around you. Women open up to men who make their world feel lighter, not heavier. If you've ever heard a woman say, "I feel safe with you," just know that is one of the deepest compliments you will ever receive. Because when she feels safe, her walls come down, her femininity comes out, her interest grows, her trust builds, her attraction deepens. This is her final weakness, the weakness she will never tell you about, but one she feels instantly. Now pause. Let this sink in. You don't need perfect looks. You don't need fake confidence. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be 6 feet tall with a jawline sharp enough to cut glass. You only need to understand psychology. And guess what? Most men never learn this stuff. You're already 10 steps ahead because you're learning emotional discipline, you're developing quiet confidence, you're setting boundaries, you're building purpose, and you're becoming a calm, masculine presence. Women notice this. Women feel this. Women respond to this even when they pretend they don't. If you've ever felt ignored, or unappreciated, or overlooked, it's not because you're not good enough. It's because you were never shown how to move like a man in a world full of boys pretending. But here you are, improving your mind, improving your psychology, and becoming the man women don't forget. That's rare. And rare is attractive. Now, let's flip the power. Here's the part most men never reach. Women don't choose the best-looking man. They choose the man who respects himself. Self-respect is your cheat code. When you stop chasing, she starts noticing. When you stop begging, she starts trying. When you stop texting paragraphs, she starts replying quicker. When you stop giving too much attention, she starts wanting your attention. It's not magic. It's psychology. Women are attracted to strength, direction, calm energy, boundaries, mystery, stability, confidence, and all of these come from one thing: knowing your value. Not acting high value. Not pretending to be high value. Actually becoming high value. Here's the truth. The moment you understand your worth, you stop worrying about losing her because you become the prize. That's the power shift. That's the transformation. And guess what? It starts with small changes, not reacting fast, not over-explaining, not chasing, not doing too much. When you respect yourself, you force the world to treat you differently, especially women. So here's the message I want you to walk away with. Don't chase women. Chase growth. Don't chase attention. Chase discipline. Don't chase approval. Chase purpose. Become the man who stays calm, moves with intention, builds himself daily, protects his energy, respects his boundaries, leads himself first. When you become this man, women naturally feel drawn to you. Not because you're trying, but because you're glowing with masculine energy. Your value will speak for you. Your presence will attract for you. Your silence will create mystery. Your confidence will create desire. Your purpose will create gravity. You won't have to fight for attention. You'll attract it. You won't have to beg for love. You'll inspire it. And you won't have to chase any woman. You'll simply choose the right one. And before you go, tap the next video on your screen. Your transformation continues there. Don't worry, it's not one of those boring videos that say, "Just be confident." It's the one that makes women look at you like, "Okay, this man is learning something dangerous." Hit like so I know you're one of the men who actually listens, not the guy who watches silently and stays confused for 3 years. Drop a comment telling me what you want next. I reply to the real ones. And subscribe, because this channel is building you into the man she respects, not the man she forgets the moment she closes the app.